Following the tragic demise of her parents, Isaku finds herself stepping through the imposing doors of her grandfather's residence. Her grandfather, not just an elderly figure but also the head of a prominent Yakuza clan, understands the dangers surrounding them. He, with a blend of concern and authority, assigns Keiya as her personal protector, ensuring her safety amidst the shadows of their underworld connections. Desperate to shed the heavy cloak of her family's reputation and find her own identity, Isaku makes a bold choice. She enrolls in a high school located at a distance, hoping the physical separation might offer an escape from the whispers and judgmental glances. Yet, as she steps onto the campus, the familiar and watchful eyes of Keiya are there, reminding her that while she may run from her past, it isn't so easy to hide. Hello, my friends, my name is Anikazu and today we're taking a look at the anime girl and her guard dog. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss out on anything. Let's get started. The anime unfolds, revealing a poignant scene of Isaku, just a young girl, hand in hand with her grandfather. Together, they step into a new chapter of their lives as they walk into their new residence. The air is thick with the weight of unspoken emotions. Amid the unfamiliar surroundings, her grandfather introduces her to a solemn figure, Keiya, her assigned bodyguard. The reality of her situation hits her hard, and tears stream down her face, a silent cry for the parents she so desperately misses. Keiya, perceiving the depth of her pain, kneels to her level. With a gentle voice, he makes a heartwarming promise. He swears to stand by her as a father, to care for her like a mother, and to protect her as an elder brother would. Drawn into the warmth of his embrace, Isaku clings to him. It is in this vulnerable, touching moment that the seeds of love for Keiya are sown in Isaku's young heart. Several years pass, and Isaku matures into a young woman and now attends her new high school. She tells her grandpa and Keiya that she passed the entrance exam. Keiya, overjoyed, lifts her in the air. However, the school is far away, a fact Isaku planned because she doesn't want to be near her Yakuza family. She hopes to find real friends and genuine love there. Keiya, being overly protective, is made to understand by her that she isn't his child. While they aren't related, their bond is strong, making them feel like family. On her highly anticipated first day at the new school, Isaku is filled with a mix of excitement and nervousness. With hopes of starting fresh, she's eager to mingle, leave a good first impression, and make some genuine connections with her fellow classmates. As she's navigating her way through the buzzing hallways, a sudden jostle sends her off balance. Just as she's about to hit the ground, a familiar hand reaches out, saving her from an embarrassing tumble. To her surprise and dismay, it's Keiya. Instead of a guardian from the shadows, he's now donning the role of a student, blending in with the crowd. Isaku's face flushes with a mix of embarrassment and irritation. This was the exact opposite of the independence she yearned for. In a somewhat teasing tone, she calls him old, a jibe at his age. Keiya, clearly not expecting this, appears momentarily taken aback. At 26, he hardly considered himself old, especially when his intentions were solely to protect her. He tries to reason with her, emphasizing his concerns about teenage boys who might not have the most honorable intentions. But for Isaku, his presence is a piercing reminder of her past. Memories flood back, whispered conversations, kids avoiding her at playtime, and the piercing weight of isolation, all because their parents warned them about her family's notorious Yakuza background. With these memories weighing heavily on her heart, she storms off, trying to find solace in a fresh start amidst the shadows of her past. Back in the classroom, Isaku takes a deep breath and attempts to strike up a conversation with her peers. However, the shadows of her past, the memories of isolation and rejection, act as invisible chains, hindering her efforts to connect. She finds herself lost, unsure of how to bridge the gap between her and her classmates, making her feel increasingly desolate in a room full of people. She silently slips into her seat, letting her eyes fall shut in an attempt to shield herself from the world, feigning sleep. Keiya, ever observant, notices her struggles from across the room. He makes his way over, concern evident in his eyes. In a soft yet probing tone, he asks, "Why aren't you trying to make friends? Wasn't that your goal?" Their exchange doesn't go unnoticed. Two boys, intrigued by Isaku's unique charm, approach the duo with inquisitive smiles. Keiya, seizing the moment to possibly put Isaku at ease, introduces himself. But in classic Keiya fashion, he adds a darkly humorous twist, jesting about having a penchant for torturing people, hinting at the gritty nature of his Yakuza background. Isaku's eyes widen in disbelief and annoyance, but before she can chastise him, Keiya, with a sly grin, dismisses it all as a harmless joke, leaving the entire group in a mix of shock and amusement. The atmosphere in the classroom is thick with tension after the boys' mocking remarks. Everywhere Isaku looks, she sees clusters of students whispering amongst themselves, their glances filled with curiosity and judgment. The word weirdos echoes in her mind, reinforcing the feeling of being an outsider. Just then, the teacher walks in, his stern demeanor contrasting with the classroom's restless energy. He looks around, waiting for the chatter to die down before making an announcement. "We need a class representative," he says, his gaze sweeping the room. Asaku's heart flutters at the opportunity. This could be her chance to make friends, to be seen as more than just the new girl with a Yakuza background. But doubt grips her, making her hesitate. Before she can make a decision, Keiya confidently raises his hand, declaring, "Asaku and I will do it." The teacher nods, perhaps seeing this as an opportunity for them to integrate into the class. Their first responsibility is the sports festival, a task that comes with its challenges. As Asaku looks around, she can sense the collective groan of the class. The lack of enthusiasm is palpable. Deep down, she wants to communicate the importance of unity and teamwork, but the words are caught in her throat, her confidence sapped by the earlier events. Noticing her struggle, Keiya steps in. He starts by praising individual students for their unique strengths. "Nika, you're an incredible sprinter. We need you in the relay race," he'd say. Or "Tomohiro, your basketball skills are unmatched. How about leading the basketball challenge?" With each compliment, the mood in the room shifts. Students who were initially uninterested are now engaged, their self-worth acknowledged. Keiya's charisma and genuine appreciation for their talents soon win the class over. The air is abuzz with excitement as they discuss the sports festival. Asaku watches in awe, realizing that beneath Keiya's guarded exterior lies an uncanny ability to connect with others. She feels a twinge of gratitude mixed with envy, wishing she too could command a room like that. Back home, Asaku retreats to the solitude of her room, her mind clouded with frustration. The fact that Keiya, someone from a similar background, manages to effortlessly blend in and connect with their classmates, while she grapples with even the basics, weighs heavily on her heart. The soft creak of the door signals Keiya's entrance. Noticing the despondency in her eyes, he approaches her with a warmth that only he can offer. He sits beside her, offering words of encouragement, emphasizing that these things take time, and that she shouldn't be too hard on herself. As they continue their conversation, he lightens the mood by teasing her, playfully calling her cute and chuckling at her reactions. The sports festival was a major event at Asaku's school, and every student looked forward to it with a mix of excitement and trepidation. When Asaku found herself assigned to the volleyball team, her heart sank. While she was athletic in her own right, volleyball was an unfamiliar territory for her. She was lost amidst the spikes, sets, and serves, not knowing the first thing about the game. Recognizing her need for some serious training, Asaku turned to an unlikely source of help: her grandpa's loyal Yakuza workers. Many of them had played sports in their younger days, and they were more than eager to assist the young heiress. A spacious room in the mansion was promptly cleared out, transforming into an impromptu volleyball court. Day after day, under the watchful eyes of these burly men, Asaku practiced, learning the intricacies of the game. However, the rigorous training was not without its challenges. One evening, as the sun set casting long shadows on the court, a worker misjudged his serve, sending the ball crashing into Asaku. The impact was so hard that she was left winded, a painful bruise forming almost immediately. Before she could even process the pain, Keiya, ever the protective guardian, lunged at the worker with fury in his eyes. His blows were fast and fierce, each one landing with precision. The other workers quickly intervened, pulling him away and reminding him it was an accident. Despite this unsettling incident, Asaku was undeterred. Her dedication to mastering the sport was unyielding. When she returned to school, her bruises were evident, a testament to her commitment. Rather than whispers of sympathy, the girls in her class were filled with admiration. Recognizing her passion, they rallied around her, suggesting they all train together to enhance their teamwork. As the days turned into weeks, Asaku's skills on the court improved dramatically. The once clumsy novice had transformed into a formidable player. With each practice, her bond with her teammates deepened. They laughed together, celebrated successes, and consoled each other during failures. However, as Asaku's social circle expanded, Keiya found himself on the periphery. The bond he once shared with her seemed to be fading, replaced by her new friendships. His once crucial role in her life seemed diminished. One afternoon, as Asaku walked past the school's courtyard, she found Keiya leaning against a tree, a lit cigarette dangling from his lips. Displeased, she marched up to him, snatching the cigarette away and reprimanding him for his unhealthy habit. Keiya, already feeling sidelined, took this as a final blow. Without uttering a word, he turned on his heel and left, his silhouette disappearing into the horizon. The volleyball tournament was a whirlwind of emotions. With every match, Asaku's team displayed resilience and tenacity. During the finals, Asaku, despite a painful injury, took center stage. With the weight of expectation on her shoulders, she delivered a stunning spike, securing victory for her team. The crowd erupted in applause, but as Asaku scanned the faces, she found one conspicuously absent, Keia's. The bittersweet taste of victory lingered, as the realization hit her that their bond was strained, perhaps irrevocably so. As everyone celebrates, Keiya, sensing something's wrong, rushes to Asaku, picks her up, and takes her to the school's infirmary. He tends to her wounds, confessing he's happy she's making friends but feels left out and lonely. Asaku realizes she can't leave him behind. While she calls him her ally, she's in fact in love with him. To her, Keiya has always been the center of her world. Keiya rests on her lap, and she can't help but find him adorable, once again confessing her love for him, a feeling that has only grown stronger with time. And that's a wrap, my friends. As the class session gets underway, Asaku's attention is diverted when Tamaru, a boy from an adjacent class, approaches her with a curious glint in his eyes. Eager to know more about her relationship with Keiya, he straightforwardly inquires if Keiya is her boyfriend. Caught off guard, Asaku can only muster a no in response, her cheeks tinged with a shade of pink. She hastens to clarify that Keiya and she share a bond that dates back to their childhood, explaining their frequent companionship. Not completely convinced, Tamaru seeks further clarity, asking if she's currently unattached. When she confirms her single status, a smile lights up Tamaru's face, eager to foster this newfound connection. He suggests they swap Instagram details. Asaku hesitates for a moment, feeling a twinge of self-consciousness. She has an account, but it's been largely inactive due to her limited circle of friends. Pushing aside her reservations, they exchange their Instagram IDs, marking the start of a new digital friendship. While patrolling the school grounds, Keiya's ears catch snippets of a conversation that sets his heart racing. Asaku is sharing contact information with a fellow student. Blinded by anger and jealousy, he storms over to the sanctuary of his clan's quarters. In his fury, he draws out his weapon and discharges it recklessly, each shot echoing his inner turmoil. His rage is palpable as he proclaims his intention to eliminate the boy who dares to encroach on his territory. As he enters, the clan members, unprepared for his volatile state, react in sheer astonishment. They hurriedly bow in deference, hoping to pacify him. Sinking into a chair, Keiya's brooding demeanor reflects his anguish over the unforeseen development involving Asaku. The tension in the room escalates when a clan member, trying to offer some rationale, comments on Asaku reaching an age where such interactions are normal. This seemingly innocuous remark further triggers Keiya, who menacingly points his gun at the worker, a clear signal that discussing Asaku was off limits. After what feels like an eternity, Keiya's stormy rage subsides to a simmering anger. With a determined glint in his eyes, he strategizes ways to nip this nascent relationship in the bud. In the dimly lit corners of her room, surrounded by memories and mementos, Asaku is caught in a whirlwind of emotions. The walls, usually a sanctuary for her, seem to close in, echoing the loud, confusing beats of her heart. Each passing day, the feelings she's been trying to suppress for Keiya intensify, like a flame being stoked. The question of why him plays repeatedly in her mind, and she hopes, maybe even prays, that by forging a connection with a new classmate, she might find an escape, a respite from this emotional turmoil. As she's immersed in this internal reflection, the sudden buzz of her phone startles her. Glancing down, she sees a new chat notification. This isn't just any chat, it's a tentative bridge to a world outside her current emotional chaos. With every message exchanged, she feels a growing sense of camaraderie, akin to two old friends catching up after a long time. As the conversation flows, a tiny voice in the back of her mind suggests that perhaps it might be a simpler, less painful path if her heart were to find solace in this new acquaintance instead of Keiya. The sunlight filters through the classroom windows, casting a warm hue over the room. Asaku is still settling into her usual seat when she feels a sudden bump. Turning, she finds herself face to face with Tamaru. His face, a mix of awkwardness and eagerness, hints at the conversation he's trying to start. About yesterday, he begins, trying to clear the air. But before he can finish, a familiar voice interrupts. Asaku, did you forget? We need to clean the chalkboard erasers. Keiya stands there, his posture rigid, a forced casualness in his tone. The atmosphere immediately shifts. Asaku recognizes the thinly veiled intent in Keiya's intervention, but Tamaru seems oblivious to the underlying tension. Glancing down at Tamaru, Keiya chuckles, sorry, didn't see you there. Maybe if you were a bit taller. The dig at Tamaru's height, although playful on the surface, carries a sharp edge. Tamaru's eyes widen slightly, taken aback by the unexpected jibe. However, Keiya doesn't stop there. Leaning in, he narrows his eyes. What were you discussing with Asaku? The proximity, more than the question, seems to unnerve Tamaru. As Keiya senses the slight discomfort, he offers, in what seems like a generous gesture, if you're interested, I can introduce you to other girls, more suited to your taste. Asaku's face reddens with anger and embarrassment. Enough, Keiya, she interjects, pushing between the two boys, her voice carrying a hint of desperation. Stop making making a scene. We don't need rumors circulating. But Tamaru, instead of being offended or angered, chuckles lightly. It's fine, Isaku. I find this rather amusing, he says, winking at her. His lightheartedness, in contrast to Keia's brooding intensity, leaves the atmosphere in the classroom both charged and intrigued. In the cozy tranquility of her room, Isaku is nestled comfortably on her bed, phone in hand, lost in the digital world of Instagram. She curiously navigates to Tamaru's profile. With each swipe, she uncovers a new aspect of his life, gatherings with friends, picturesque sceneries, and the occasional silly selfie. As she's engrossed in this digital journey, her finger slips, inadvertently hitting the like button on a rather old picture. Ah, no, she whispers in panic, fumbling to unlike it, her face flushed with embarrassment. The damage, however, is already done. Her phone buzzes with a notification. It's a message from Tamaru. Caught you stalking, winking face. Heart racing, she admits her mistake with a flurry of flustered emojis. Sorry, I was just curious. To her surprise, Tamaru replies in a teasing tone. I'd love to like your photos too, but you don't have any. How about we go out and take some together? Before she could even process it, he adds, karaoke. My friends are coming. It'll be fun. The very idea of karaoke, combined with the prospect of having pictures taken, feels like a whirlwind for Isaku, so much so that she doesn't notice the looming presence behind her. Swiftly, Keiya reaches over her shoulder, snatching her phone away. Hey, she protests, lunging forward to reclaim it. In the ensuing scuffle, she loses her balance, tumbling forward onto Keiya. Their faces are mere inches apart, the air thick with tension. But Isaku, overwhelmed by the sudden closeness, scrambles away. Keiya's eyes, though intense, show concern. It's too early for you to date, he says, his voice firm yet gentle. You deserve someone genuine, someone who truly cares. Isaku, however, isn't in the mood for his overprotectiveness. I get to decide that. Keiya, she retorts, a fiery determination in her eyes. It's my life, and I get to choose who's in it. With a forceful gesture, she indicates the door, her message clear, he needs to leave. With the sun barely up, Isaku steals glances at her reflection in shop windows, fixing stray hairs and adjusting her outfit, a mix of excitement and nervousness evident in her step. Upon meeting Tamaru and his friends, she's taken aback by how stylish they all look, immediately feeling out of place. However, their enthusiasm and warm welcomes make her feel included, and she hesitantly poses for the group photo. The streets blur into a whirl of laughter, chatter, and snapshots. The colorful neon lights and the echoey hum of the karaoke room feel both enchanting and intimidating to Isaku. As the evening progresses, Tamaru leans in closer, his fingers grazing her arm more frequently. At first, she dismisses it, trying to focus on the music and lyrics. But soon, the room grows hazy with cigarette smoke, and the air is thick with the scent of alcohol. The playful mood shifts as Tamaru's friends pass her a beer with a sly smirk. The atmosphere, once exhilarating, becomes stifling. When Tamaru, with alcohol clouding his judgment, tries to take advantage of the situation, Isaku's heart races in panic. She feels trapped, pinned by Tamaru's weight and his intoxicated, lustful gaze. Suddenly, the door slams open with a deafening crash, revealing an enraged Keiya. His silhouette casts an imposing shadow on the room, making Tamaru's friends shrink back in fear. Without a word, Keiya advances on Tamaru, his fists clenched in fury. Isaku, although terrified, musters the strength to stand and shout, "Stop it, Keiya." Keiya, heeding her plea, shoots one final menacing glare at Tamaru, warning, if anyone breathes a word of this to anyone, you'll regret it. Grabbing Isaku's hand protectively, he swiftly exits the room. The cold night air is a stark contrast to the smoky room. As they walk, neither speaks. Keiya's grip is firm, almost protective, and Isaku is grateful for his intervention but also resentful of his constant intrusion into her life. The complex web of feelings between the two remains unspoken as they head home. Inside the dimly lit car, the tension is palpable. Without missing a beat, Keiya's voice, laced with concern, cuts through the silence. Did Tamaru hurt you in any way? He questions. Isaku, her eyes downcast, softly responds, no. Swallowed by remorse and self-reproach, she condemns her own naivety and impulsiveness in trusting people too easily. As tears threaten to spill, her voice quivers, I was so foolish. Recognizing her distress, Keiya reaches out, pulling her into a comforting embrace. His voice, though soft, bears an edge when he reveals the presence of a GPS tracker in her phone, explaining how he always knew her whereabouts. You're so inexperienced with the world, Isaku, he says, trying to justify his overbearing actions. But as he looks down at her, he's caught off guard. With her makeup enhancing her features, Isaku appears more mature and striking, making him see her in a new light. The weight of his responsibility dawns on him, and he whispers a solemn vow, no matter what, I'll shield you from all the harm the world might throw your way. But Isaku, wearied from the day's events, responds with indifference. She leans against the seat, slowly drifting into sleep. As the city lights play on his face, Keiya is left with a deep reflection. The realization is profound. Isaku isn't the little girl he once knew. She's metamorphosing into a young woman, and he must come to terms with this inevitable change. Alright friends, we've come to the end of today's video. As always, if you found value in what was presented or simply enjoyed the watch, don't hesitate to hit that like button. It truly means a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any future content. Now, I'm genuinely curious, if you're eager to see more episodes or insights related to this anime, please drop a comment below. Your feedback helps shape our future content, and I always love hearing from you. Take care of yourselves, stay awesome, and until next time, this is Anikazu signing off. Cheers, signing off.